So, hello everybody. Thanks a lot for your participation to this A-Tempo webinar for the Lina 6.1 product launch. So today the session, we will have 30 minutes of presentation and some demo with Sylvie, and we will allocate some times for the question at the end of the webinar. So you can ask your question during the session on the bottom of the screen on the question button. So feel free to ask your question during the session. So we will register the webinar, so we will send you the replay in the afternoon or no later than tomorrow. For today, we have two speakers. So we have Sylvie, Technical Product Manager for Lina. Hello, Sylvie.
Hello, everyone. Nice to be here with you.
And we have as well Geoffrey. So Geoffrey, Marketing Product Manager for the Data Protection Solution. Hello, Geoffrey.
Hello, everyone.
So I think we can start and so speak to you at the end of the webinar and have a nice session to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Cécile. Glad to be here today to present you this newest Lina 6.1 version. First of all, I will go into details of new specifications, and then at the end, Sylvie will demonstrate in live some of these new functionalities. So I will start with the multi-server part update, then then new performances specification, the security part, also some news on restore report, and at the end some of the enhancements brings by this new Lina 6.1 version. Let's move on with the multi-server part. So as you probably know, Lina 6.0, the previous version of Lina, brought the multi-server support. However, this multi-server functionality was only available with new installations. And now, thanks to this 6.1 version, you can upgrade a standalone version of Lina to multi-server architectures. So basically, if you were in Lina 5.2 or .3, and you want to access this multi-server functionalities, then you can simply update your configuration to get all the benefits of this multi-server capabilities. And of course, we did it to help you supporting the growth of your fleet. And it will also help the administrators and or MSP IT guys to simplify the administration and deployment of their agents. So it will be much more easier because you will have to configure one server, one master server, and then this master server will communicate with the nodes and with all your agents. So really, if you have a lot of agents and several Lina servers, this new feature will help you a lot. Standalone to multi-server upgrade. So what you have to do if you want to benefit of this new features, you will have to first upgrade your server to 6.1, then upgrade your agents to 6.1, and you can, for this, you can, for instance, use the automatic agent upgrade available in Lina 6.1. Then you will have to create your master server So the main server, the one which will communicate with the nodes, your other Lina servers, and then you attach your node to the master servers, to the master server. Yes, so this with this new 6.1 version, it is yes, really much more easy to upgrade your standalone configuration, and you don't have to do the fresh or new installation to get all the benefits of this of the multi-server capabilities. Okay, let's move on. Performances. Parallelization of deduplicated blocks, really interesting features. Previously, Lina was sending blocks in series. So, for instance, with Lina 5.3 or 2, so one by one, the blocks were sent to the repository. And now in 6.1, we implemented this parallelization of blocks, which will brings much better performances. And well, we did the comparison between Lina 5 and Lina 6.1. And compared to Lina 5.3, backup time was reduced by 6 with this 6.1. So really a big improvement in terms of backup time, performances. So much more blocks can be sent to the repository. So of course it will reduce the backup time a lot. And also, it will bring a better network footprint because more blocks are sent in less time. Again, if you have any question, I'm trying to be as clear as possible. But anyway, if you have any question, feel free to ask your question into the question tab. We'll take time at the end to reply all your questions. Okay, let's move to the security part now. Okay, so unusual backup activity detection, really a big, well, very interesting new features to help fighting against ransomware, for instance. We all know that ransomwares are everywhere, and every day we can read some news about new ransomware attack in small account, or even in targeting some huge companies. So here we have developed really an interesting new feature helping to fight ransomware damages. And with this backup activity monitoring, you could be able to get an alert in case of unusual volume is detected. So, for instance, Lina will take the average backup volumes over the last 30 days, and if one day there is a huge new backup volume detected, then the solution will automatically send an alert to the administrator. Also, so it can detect unusual volume or unusual compression level, meaning that if, for instance, if you have a lot of encrypted blocks, data, the compression level will drop drastically. And then the solution is also able to send an alert saying something unusual is happening, please have a look and do something. So, of course, it can help to detect encryption attacks. The solution will then stop the retention in order to avoid overwriting the clean backup data with corrupted one, for instance. And the main idea is to reduce the threat response time, because we all know that in case of encryption attack, the admin has to do things quickly in order to stop the propagation of the attack. So really interesting features, new features, unusual backup activity detection. Will help you to detect and to reduce the ransomware damages. Still in security part, the access hardening. So here again, two parts. The strong authentication part. We developed and we released in Lina 5.3 now the two-factor authentication. So now everybody is know that how does it work. So to prevent the credentials theft, you will need to double authenticate your access in order to get access to the administration console. So 2FA was already there, but today we'll bring a new and complex password policy to combine with the 2FA. And this brings some password validity and new complexity again in order to force the users and the admin to use stronger password, because we all know that if you use a weak password, then it will be much more easier for hackers to get access to the console. Access hardening is one of the main recommendations against cyber threat. And it's a recommendation from national securities agencies such as NC for France or CISA for the US. Today, we can say that Lina is fully compliant in terms of access hardening, access control with cybersecurity best practices. Okay, right. So administration now. Few new interesting features again. So ready for managed service providers. And first of all, the number agent quota. So we introduced the limitation of backup volume per agent in the previous version. Now you could be able to limit the number of agents per tenant or customer if you are an MSP, for instance, and this will help you to control the overall backup volume growth. So you can limit the agents per tenant, and also the volume backed up per agents. In case of you reach, well, the agent reach the limit, then you will be able again to notify automatically the administrator or the MSP when this limit is reached or almost reached. For MSP, it could be interesting because this could leverage some automatic emailing to customers asking to extend the agent number, for instance. Data privacy, restore notifications. Well, basically, if the administrator proceed to a restoration of data of one of the agents, the end user can receive an alert saying, "Hello, a restoration is in process on your data." Okay, so in order for data privacy, the end user could be informed in case of any restoration on his backup data. Okay, let's move on. Restore report again on restore part. We have previously released the backup report, the backup reporting. So administrator could get all the information of what is backed up, what kind of data, the volumes, everything, but nothing on restoration part. And now we have done the job. So if you want to know about what kind of data is restored, how the volumes, how much volumes are restored by end user, then you will, with Lina 6.1, you will be able to receive restoration report. And I think Sylvie will demonstrate at the end how does it work. But again, to ensure the restoration performances, to monitor the solution, the usage of the solution, to be in compliance also for internal or external audit. This feature could be very, very interesting. So if you want to know about backup report, it's already available. And now if you want to know about the restoration part, the restoration report will be there with this new Lina 6.1 version. Automatic sending of AER. If you already have sent some AER to the Atempo support, you know that it's not always easy to find the right information, where to send it. Well, we had a lot of requests asking to ease the support process. Now, everything is automatically filled in, and you will simply have to indicate your site ID, press the send button, and everything is sent automatically. So the right logs, everything will be sent to the Atempo support. The address is automatically set by default. So again, the main idea is to free up time for you guys and also reduce the resolutions times from a support if you have any ticket support open, this will help to reduce the time to close this ticket, and of course respect the SLA. Okay, last one I would like to present is the replication statistics. Again, we had a lot of requests asking to get some dedicated view for the replication part. So if you are using the replication capabilities of Lina with Lina 6.1, you will have a dedicated tile on the dashboard showing you all the replication information, performances, the time between the first backup and then the replication. So everything in real-time supervision will be there in a simple and very clear tile. You will be able to check the performances of replications in real time. Okay, I'm done for my side. Now it's time for Sylvie to demonstrate in live all these new features. Sylvie.
Okay, thank you, Geoffrey. So here we go. I'm going to show you the restore report that Geoffrey was talking about. So if you have already used the backup report, it really works the same way. It's the same principle. First, you have to create a template, and then you generate your report and you send it by mail, or you create it one at a time, or you can just decide to create it every day at 8 o'clock, for instance. So you can either use an existing report or create a new one for the restore. So for the demo, I'm just going to create a new report here. So I'm gonna simply code new restore report. In English, I'm going to keep the retention unlimited. I don't want to see the backup information for that demo, so I'm just going to uncheck everything. And for the restore, so everything is pre-selected. I'm going to change the restore activity period to 30 days. So I'm going to see on my report everything that happened in the past 30 days in terms of restore. And I'm going to check all columns. This is a default schedule information. I'm going to leave it as is. I'm going to add my email. And create a template. So here is my new template. Now I'm going to generate the report and display the report. Okay, so the first thing you see on top is the volume restored, the overall restored volume, and the overall number of restored objects. And if I had some volume not restored or some object not restored, they would appear here as well. But in my case, all the restore that I asked for were completely performed, so there are no unrestored volume or unrestored object. Then below here, I'm going to see the restore operation for the past 30 days, which is what I asked for. And here is all the agent for which we asked a restore in the past 30 days with the start date and date. The requested by here shows admin everywhere because the type of restore I performed were admin web restore, which are always requested by the admin. I have the detail of the number of objects restored and not restored, and same for the volume. Then if I want to see more detail, I can click here on the little plus sign, and for any restore that was requested, I'm going to have the number of directory restored and also the paths that were restored or the paths that were excluded if there were any. We can't really display the list of all the restored file because it could be very it could be too many files to show. If we restore like 10,000 files, it would be useless to give you the list of all the files. That's why we preferred showing the paths that were restored. So this is really which directories were the request for restore concern, for instance, here the C user administrator and the C user default directory. And you have this information for all the agents that were restored. Next, I'm going to show you the security feature that Geoffrey mentioned. So first of all is the password policy. So the password policy, you can either set it for one specific tenant or for all tenants at once. Here, I'm in one specific tenant, so I have the message here saying that the configuration is going to apply only to the current tenant. If I want to apply the policy to all the tenants, then what I will do before asking to see the window would be to choose here all tenants. And if I'm in the all tenant view, then when I go to security, I have a new option that says for tenants to inherit this global configuration, which you can choose to activate or not. If you do activate it, it means that all the tenants will inherit from this password policy, even the one for which you may have already had a password policy enacted. So it's really up to your specific case if you want to apply it to all the tenants or one by one, you choose. As Geoffrey mentioned, we have integrated the two-factor authentication in the new password policy. So you can either make it mandatory for everyone or optional. And here are the parameters that you can really... So the password validity, by default, it's 6 months, but you can change it to a number of weeks or days. And then the password strength, here are all the parameters you can set. You have the total length, so the total number of characters of the password that you want people to use, the number of lowercase, uppercase, and the number of digits, if you want them to add some digit to their password, and the special character. The default setting here is generally what's recommended, the best practices for password strengths. This is what we use for the default values. And also you can choose to force or not users to change their weak password. Because at the moment where you're going to enable the new password policy, some administrator may already have their own password that do not comply with your new password policy. So you can either force them to change their password the next time they're going to log in, or you can just let them go until the validity that you set here, at which point they will have to change their password. So that's it for the password policy. Then the other feature that Geoffrey mentioned earlier was the surveillance of the backup activity. This is really to give you an edge in case something is kind of abnormal with your either the volume of data backed up or the compression rate. This really works in 2 steps. The first step is to analyze the current data. So this is what you're going to set here. So you're going to decide when you want to launch the analysis. By default, it's every day, but you could change it to a number of hours, a week, or months. And you're going to decide the quantity of data. So you're going to go back 1 month and analyze every day the last month of data. So you're going to have like an average volume and an average compression rate for your data. Then you can set some threshold. This is to limit the number of false positive. So by default, we created threshold of 1,000 modified file. So the first 1,000 modified file are not taken into account to see if your activity is normal or abnormal. And the first 1,000 blocks, same thing. So it's either 1,000 file, 1,000 blocks, or 5 gigabytes of backed up volume. This, if you don't really know what's normal, not normal, you could start up with not putting any threshold at all. And then along the way, you can find what are the values that are the best for your particular organization. And then finally, you're going to decide at which point the activity is unusual. By default, we put a ratio of 5. So if your backup activity is 5 times bigger than what it is normally, then you will get an alert saying that there is some unusual activity going on in your in your server, and specifically it will give you which agent are concerned. And the second one for suspicious activity is using the compression rate. So if the ratio decreases by 1.3 to less than 1.05, then you will get an alert saying that there is suspicious activity on such and such agent. Just so you can test it before you actually implement it. And then it's going to give you an immediate response. So in my case, for instance, no agent with unusual or suspicious activity with all the parameter I set. And then you would, of course, apply this configuration if you're okay with it. And the last thing I wanted to show you that Geoffrey mentioned in the new feature is the sending of the environment report. So for anyone that has had to do that before, it used to be a very cumbersome activity. So now we really simplified it. The only thing really you have to provide is the site ID. This is the only mandatory parameter. And the site ID, you will get it when the first invoice you receive will mention the site ID. And each time you request a license, for instance, you have to provide the site ID. So this information should be known to the administrator. And once you've entered it once, so if you the first time you send an AER, you have to provide the site ID, but then we're going to memorize it. So the next time you go to send the AER, you won't have to provide this information again, since we will have memorized it for you. The case ID is going to be provided by the support team. When you contact them, they will in return send you a case ID that you can put here. The upload URL, you don't have to change it. This will be directly sent to the proper directory on the support server. The only thing you can do is if you have to use a proxy, you can check this option here and give the name and the port number for the proxy. And lastly, you can specify how many logged events you want to add to the report. By default, it's 1 week, the last week, but in some particular cases, you may want to send more or less log than 1 week. And once you have filled all this information, all you have to do is click on the upload environment report, and it will be directly sent to the support team, which in return will be able to take your case into consideration faster. As Geoffrey mentioned before, this will really accelerate the incident resolution process. So that's it for me for what I wanted to show you today. I will send it back to Geoffrey for a little wrap-up of the session. And thank you for attending today.
Thank you very much, Sylvie. Very interesting demonstration. So yes, to summarize, what to remember on this new link for this Lina 6.1 version: more security, more flexibility for a better experience. So more security, access hardening, password policy combined with the 2FA, and the unusual backup activity detection, which is really, really interesting, as you have seen with Sylvie. And this will really can help to detect abnormal activity or cyber threat. More flexibility also, finer quota management. So you can now limit the agent number per tenant, and with the previous version, you could also limit the backup volume per agent. So now it's a complete quota management. Enrich multi-server with this upgrade from a standalone server to multi-server directly. Replication statistics available in a dedicated tile on the dashboard. So again, the solution is easier to manage and to monitor. For a better experience, parallelization of blocks sending. Again, we are trying to make Lina the more efficient as possible. Simplified AER management. Here again, Sylvie has demonstrate how it's easy to deal with the Atempo support to send your environment reports, and the restore report again. So previously the backup report was there, and today we bring the restore reporting part. That's all for us. We'll take time now to reply questions. So let's check. Okay, I can see that you have replied directly into the chat, Sylvie. Great.
For the question that I saw.
Okay. Version availability. So the 6.1 version is already available. You can access the. You can use your Atempo portal access to get the binaries and to install the version. So yes, the version is available right now. Is an agent 5.3 can work with a Lina 6.1 server?
Yes. You can back up all your 5 agent with a 6.0 or 6.1 server. The only thing is you will only be able to do it in a standalone fashion, because the 5.3 agent do not support the multi-server. But if you have a standalone 6.1 server, it will back up and restore the 5.3 agent.
Okay, thanks, Sylvie. Can I update my Linux 5.3 configuration directly to 6.1?
Yes, absolutely. You don't have to go through a 6.0 version. You can directly update your server, whether you stay in a standalone mode or if you want to go to multi-server. But in any case, you can upgrade your server to 6.1 directly from a 5.3. And if you can also use the automatic agent update, which work for all your agent, Windows, Linux, and macOS. We had some little issues in the past for some specific version, but you can check the release notes, and we have a table that tells you precisely from because we had some issue with some Mac version, for instance. So everything is detailed in the release note. But in the principle, yes, you can. The automatic update will work to update all your agents in 6.1.
Thank you, Sylvie. Yeah, I think you replied this question. Okay. I think we are done. Is there any question left? No.
I don't see any.
Thank you, Sylvie.
Oh, yeah. Also, there's a question on the Mac agent. We had an issue where the agent UI did not automatically start. And this is fixed with 6.1.
Will there be installation support for Jam Workspace 1? Okay.
Okay. Well,
thank you very much for your
everyone.
yeah, to be there today. We'll see you for the next release version. Thank you, Sylvie. Very
Thanks
much.
a lot, everyone. And
Thank you.
have a
See
good
you.
day. Thank you,
Bye.
Faye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.